Hello everyone, welcome to my live. This is a live where you'll get to have your questions answered, and I'm so thrilled that I'm here with you all, and I can't wait to have you connect with me. So today, all of your questions about animal communication, psychic development, and healing are going to be on the table. So just as we're getting going here, I received a question prior to this live, and it was from Peggy, and she was asking me about a cat that she has had for about 3 years. She's a real cat lover, and her cat is, hey April, thanks for being here. She has her own indoor cats, and then she also has an outdoor cat that she's been feeding for 3 years, a stray basically, which she really loves and really loves her. And her, thanks for the hearts guys, keep them coming. She really loves all cats. So she's been feeding this outdoor cat, and she's just really feeling like this outdoor cat is not happy because he's got to live outside on the porch. I mean, he's got a bed out there, etc. But it's just not the best life for him. So she was asking about him and what can be done. And so we don't do actual readings in these. I may have some where I do a reading once in a while, but basically we are we're just going to talk about what can be done in a situation where you've got an animal companion and something just isn't going the way you want it to go. So Q&A is happening right now, Nancy. I'm just working on the first question. So anyhow, first of all, I would suggest highly, whenever you've got an animal with something like that going on, a lot of animal communication for sure, a lot of healing, and really focusing on the animal and what they feel is in their highest and best good, because sometimes what we think isn't always what really is, in the grand scheme of things. Sorry, for some reason I like adjusting this. I don't know why. Right in the middle of talking. So anyhow, what I want to share is that so much can be done. I have seen dramatic. I've been doing this for 25 years and teaching it for 25 years. I have seen, teaching it for 24 years probably. I have seen dramatic shifts in our animal companions through just listening to what it is that they want, letting them kind of vent or talk or share just like we would if we were talking to a friend, and then helping them heal and helping work through, negotiating with them and explaining things. So, that kind of thing. Oh, Tara says, hi Lynn, you're helping me so much. Thank you. I'm so happy, Tara. That's really great. I'm trying to see the rest of this. Oops. I'm trying to see the rest of this comment. Oopsie. Okay. Tammy said, just did a reading for a male lab who passed 5 months ago. He's very much still with his female owner. Asked if he was, I can't see the rest of that post, if he was maybe coming back, but I can't see the rest of that. Sorry about that. Could you please share your experience with helping to find lost animals? And yes, I will share my experience. So, and I have quite a few stories because I've been doing this a long time. I don't do lost animal cases myself anymore, simply because I'm my schedule's way too crazy. I just don't have any extra time in the day to be booking emergency appointments. But basically, when you tune in with an animal that's lost, you want to tune in, and I'm assuming you're there, Raya, and if you are there, there are some people messaging that they don't know how to get on the call, so maybe you can go into the animal alchemy messages. So anyways, sorry, I wanted to just let my team know because I want everyone who can be on the line to be here, and I don't want them to miss. So, the question was about lost animals, and by the way, if you can hear me loud and clear, share where you're tuning in from. I love to know. So anyways, going back to the question about lost animals. So you connect in with the animals, and you tune in with them, you see how they're doing, you basically just do as much tuning in as you can do, and you check if they feel like they're in the physical body, if they're in the spiritual realm, like whether or not they're still alive if you've lost an animal companion. That's one of the first things to do. Now, I will share that can be tricky. Sometimes they may seem like they're in the spirit realm, but they're in the physical realm, but they're kind of on a spiritual journey. You know, they're on a, Penelope Smith called it a, I forget what she called it, but I call it a walkabout, a spiritual walkabout. Sometimes they leave for a reason like that. I'm going to share that I decided to let my puppy stay out of her X-pen, and I have an older Maltese, and now the puppy's deciding to bother the older Maltese, so we may have the puppy up with us. However, she wants to climb over the back of the sofa and do a nosedive. So anyhow, you tune in with the animal, you see where they are, you ask them for information about their surroundings, and realizing that if they're tiny, they may see things as huge that aren't so huge. So you do all of that, and you commune with them, you ask them, number one, I always put a beam of light on the animal, and I ask that that the owner or the any benevolent person will see them. It shines a light on them for those benevolent beings. And I also do another thing where I shine a light on the home where the animal is missing from and from his people, so that if the animal gets near the home, there's kind of a light shone there. It's like a spotlight for that animal to be able to connect in with those, get back there. Or if, his people are coming around, that there'll be a light shone on them. So it's very it's very direct. There's all kinds of things you can do. I won't get into all the training, but I have had animals. I have had a couple cats that I've worked with that have been gone. One at the Grand Canyon was gone for weeks. And the Grand Canyon is not the kind of place you want to have a lost cat, because there's so many predators there. And the cat kept telling me that she was still alive. She got out, and actually she was in heat when she got out. I was working with this client, and the cat kept saying, I'm still alive, I'm okay. And finally, this girl's friends were saying, I'm really, thanks. People are helping each other with the questions. As I'm talking, I can't read every question. But I appreciate all of your hearts and all of your information, your love, and letting me know where you're from. That's great. So anyways, this client's cat finally, this client's friends, finally said, stop listening to that nutcase in Sedona. Your cat's never going to be alive this many weeks later. And funny enough, about 3 weeks after she left or so, she strolled back in the door, and she was just as alive as anything. I've had other animals where one cat where I tuned in, and I really felt like she had crossed. She felt so much like she was on the spirit realm. Sometimes you can't tell. So if you have a lost animal and an animal communicator tells you, they've crossed over, don't always be 100% sure on that. Even Penelope Smith, who's the pioneer in this field, basically received that her cat Sherman had crossed over. And he came strolling in the door, a week later or whatever. So, he had been on his little spiritual kind of, retreat, or whatever you want to call it, and he came back. So, so just know that, your heart will be able to have a sense, and sometimes your fear and your grief and your terror and all that about them being missing will be difficult. So you can type in your questions. I'm going to try to look up at a question. If you typed a question in and I didn't answer it, yay, thanks everybody. You can type you can just go ahead and type your question now. The way this feed goes is that sometimes there'll be a whole bunch of stuff, and Mary says her friend Zach lost his dog Diesel tonight around 5:30, just disappeared. Whoops, let me see if I can get the see more. When I hit see more, it doesn't give me the option to see more. Well, that's a bummer. Just disappeared, very unlike this dog, and it won't let me see more. I'm so sorry, that question was too long. I'm sorry about that. If the question's really long, I can't get to it. You'd be better to write it in two. Tia Marie says, how do I reason with a cat who is difficult and likes to pee when he's mad at you in the house? So reasoning is maybe not the best thing. The most important thing is to completely hear his side of the story. So through an animal communicator, or if you can communicate yourself, you want to completely hear every single thing that's on his mind and on his heart. That's the first piece. And then ask him what he needs to be happier and more comfortable. And there's a lot of different pieces. We get a lot more into this. In my animal energy certification training, but basically you want to hear what the animal has to share. You really truly want to hear what the animal has to share, and then once you find out what the animal has to share, you work with them. There are certain things, like there should be 1 litter box for each cat plus 1 extra. So if there were 3 cats, you'd need 4 litter boxes. There should be different kinds of litter, and different things like that. So it's a process. I generally go through my animal energy healing system and do some healing work with them, and I have had animals turn around that in as little as 1 session. Whoops, sorry, I keep putting my finger by the camera. The one thing is you have to reduce the stress in that situation. April says, my dominant clair is clairvoyant. Can you tell me the difference between vision and imagine? Okay, so your imagination is kind of the gateway to your psychic abilities, okay? So that becomes really, really difficult. And I would say that if you, I'm going to ask you, if you're private messaging the Animal Alchemy page, please put your questions on the in the Facebook feed, because I can't go there while I'm here. I mean, I just have a little phone in front of me, and there's things coming at me from all angles. Okay, so your imagination is the gateway to your psychic abilities. You have to be good at using it and practicing it, if you're not, to open up your psychic abilities. Okay, and then so then you will kind of, if you're a clairvoyant, you may just see colors, you may see symbols, you may see mini snippets of movies, you may see just something quickly. You don't always see with your clairvoyance the way you're seeing, like the way I'm seeing this camera that I'm looking at right now, and the landscape beyond it. I'm facing a window in my house. So your imagination is a good way to begin the clairvoyance. If you don't get an answer, I always say, ask what the answer would be if you did get one, and then just see what comes. Allow one to come in. It's almost like creating a vacuum to allow it to fill up. My dog Carly is diabetic, and whenever I give her insulin, as I'm pulling the insulin down, the plunger on the needle, a vacuum gets created and the insulin sucks down into it. Sometimes we get a bubble and have to fix it, but that's the kind of thing. You want to create a vacuum for that vision to happen. I hope that helps you, April. I hope I answered you well enough. Mary is saying Zach wonders if he was stolen. It's certainly a possibility. I don't have time to tune in to individual animals in this, but certainly we have people who do that on my team. So if you want to have a reading, I would just tune in as best you can and have him tune in as best he can and really feel what's going on there. Mary Floyd says, I had a husky that was a diabetic service dog that died suddenly. What happened? Oops, they're not letting me make these questions bigger. I have no idea. This used to work, but now it's not working. Nope. And you want to know what happened. So to go into something like that, I would want to have a little bit more time. That would be something more to do in a reading setting, because I don't want to take the time. I do a lot of work prior to tuning into an animal, and I don't want to have this much technology going around me. Okay, let's see. Oh, awesome. Diana says, I'm in your talk to the animals, animal communication class, and I'm loving it so much. I have this. Okay, Diana, could you just write your question? I'm so happy you said that, and I'm so happy you shared that. I can't see the rest of your question. I don't know why when I tap see more, it's giving me the option to like the comment, pin the comment, or delete the comment, or block you. So I don't know. I've always been able to open these on my phone, but it's not working today. So if you can type your question, Diana, I'm thrilled that you shared that you are really loving the Talk to the Animals program. That's really great. I always love to hear that. Shannon says, my rescue dog is a pit bull. She growls at times when things seem totally normal. Her name was Noelle. I can't see. Raya, I don't know if you could help me, but I can't open the long questions. I can only read like a 2-line question or something, maybe 3 lines. Horrendous says, would Uno be happier neutered? If I do, that he will only go in the litter box then. She's asking that as a question. It depends on his age. You know, male animals tend to mark. I know lots of breeders, and they have to wear belly bands on their dogs who are unneutered and left loose in the house. So really, neutering is the way to go if you don't want marking in the house. It really is. I can't tell you if that's a learned behavior now, and the house probably smells like his spray and all of that, so I can't really tell you if that's going to happen on a Facebook Live, but it's certainly going to help. I mean, they have that drive when they're not neutered to mark their turf. Even when they're not spayed, the female dogs do that. Okay, I'm sorry guys, but these questions won't open and I don't know what to do. Susan McPherson says, I lost 2 cats in the past 2 weeks. I knew one was ready, but not the other. I tried to talk to him, and that's where your question ends, so I'm sorry. Try to make your questions in 3 lines. Cheryl says, have any animals messaged about the current toxicity, geoengineering message for humans? They're absolutely in tune with everything that's going on in their environment and the world. I mean, the animals are tuned, even the animals that aren't near the hurricane area where there's a hurricane approaching right now are absolutely in tune with that. They're in tune with their species as a whole. They're in tune with the earth as a whole. They're in tune with what is going on. So absolutely 100%. Yeah, so Mary, absolutely, thank you for letting me know about Diesel disappearing at 5:30 right in front of the house. You know, dogs do get stolen. That's the sad part. And other than, you know, tuning in and doing a reading for him, it would be hard for me to say. Tia Marie says, my dog doesn't like to communicate telepathically, and he always avoids Reiki when I ask to help heal his something or other. I can't see, skin issues. I have never met an animal that doesn't like to communicate telepathically, and I've been working with so many animals, so it might be the approach, I don't know. Some animals will avoid Reiki, especially if it's hands-on or close to the body, and sometimes they'll avoid Reiki in general, but most would accept it if it's done over distance and done, you know, properly in a very gentle way. It's not that normal for them not to like to communicate. I've never had an animal that wouldn't or didn't want to. I've had some that said a little less, but I've never had any that have said no, they don't want to. Okay, so hi everybody. I'm so glad you're here. That's a really good question for the Q&A talks. I'm in the program also. Yay, Lisa, thanks for being here. I think Raya's going to see if she can find out. Have any animals okay, so Raya, I can't open the questions. That's the problem. So I can only see the first 3 lines, and then it says see more, and the see more won't press. All I get is a window that comes up that says like it, pin it, or block the person. I get signs my pets are okay. When past says Danita, yay, it's awesome. They all send us signs. It's just a matter of where we are, where we're at, and if we're able to communicate. Yay, Diana's here. She says, hi Lisa. Thanks Lisa, it's nice to meet a fellow classmate. Okay. Can a new pet take on the personality of the deceased previous pet? Nancy, 100% yes. First of all, that new animal companion could be a reincarnation of the other one, but they can absolutely take on, I'm trying to get back now, take on that, I'm losing where you guys are, sorry. Yes. They can absolutely take on, I should bring my iPad next time and have my iPad beside me, and then maybe that'll be a better way to see your questions. But yes, so they can take, so here's the way it works. So you have a new animal companion. Number one, they could either be a reincarnation of the last one, they could be a new soul, but making a soul agreement with the last one, that the last one can come in and visit you a little bit. That's kind of, it's called like a walk-in or a shared kind of sharing the body, but mostly the body is the soul of that new being. Okay, so absolutely 100%. Linda says, my 8-year-old dog, Rondo, has cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that. Have been treating holistically and other modalities. Okay, I don't know if there's more to that. And Nancy says, can two souls share the same body? As a rule, they don't. But the scenario I just mentioned about, you know, having one animal companion and and you recently lost one or lost one, you know, at some point in the past, and that animal makes a soul agreement with this animal to come in and inhabit that body. Cats do that so much. I really notice they do that. So, will Artie Mouse come home? Alessandra, that's hard for me to answer. I don't even know anything about Artie Mouse. I prefer when I'm tuning into animals. Sometimes I'll just get a hunch, but something big like that, I like to spend some more time with, more time than we have here. Most dogs that have crossed over, if you ask them to, are willing to come back. So what's most important, Arenda, if you have a dog that you want to come back, talk to them in spirit. They will hear you. Even if you don't believe it or know it, they will hear it. So talk to them, ask them to come back, and you know, give them some specific details, coordinates, whatever it is you want. Sometimes they'll come back in a different breed, a different species, a different sex. You know, they'll work with your schedule. They want to be with you. And you guys, if they're your animal companions, you guys have a soul agreement together that happened before both of your souls came into this life. So absolutely ask them for what you want. I don't know why these aren't opening. Tara says, I have had 4 animals pass this year already, and I'm bringing one in tomorrow, which may also have to. This is driving me crazy because I can't open the rest of Tara's question. I'm assuming that you're going to say may have to. Yeah, Raya's saying maybe she should text them to me. You could do that. Of course, I'm on my phone, so just text one at a time. I'll tell you when I'm ready. So maybe you could text me Tara's if you can find it, or just text me one, and we'll try to get to them at all. You know, as many as we can, of course, in the time we have together. Raya, can you also text me when it's like 5:50 if you can remember, and just let me know so I have a sense of the time. It's 5:50 my time, of course. Susan says, my dogs are afraid of thunder. How do I reassure them it's okay? So that takes, oh great, now I'm having a low network connection. I don't know if that's through Facebook. That's so weird because I have really high-speed internet. You'd think Mercury was retrograde with everything that's going on. My home phone broke 2 Sundays ago, and the phone company made me wait over a week to come and fix it, and then they told me they couldn't fix it. So I can't get a home phone with them. And now it's ringing, one ring every once in a while, all night long. It's really crazy. I'm going to have to unplug it tonight. Anyways, so reassuring your dogs with thunder, energy work is huge. Working with flower essences, working with crystals. The energy work is the hugest piece. Communicating with them, letting them know. You know, there's information on the physical things. They say don't cuddle your dogs when they're scared of thunder, because then that makes them feel like you're rewarding them for being afraid. It can, uh-oh, my video says it stopped, but now it's back on. Oh boy. So there's many things that you can do. Animal communication and energy healing is the best. Oh, Tara says my vet said it has been unbelievable this year with euthanizing animals. You know, a lot of animals are making their transition. A lot of humans are. I know a lot of humans my age who have made their transition this year, like a lot. Like I can think off the top of my head of 4, just right off the top of my head that I know right in my, you know, little proximity of where I live. So a lot of them are making their transitions. You know, sometimes it's got to do with, an aging population. It just depends. I mean, if you have a lot of elderly animals, sometimes it's not the elderly though. And Tara said, I got from Raya that you're bringing one in tomorrow that may have to be euthanized. Here's the thing that is really most important. As hard as it is for us to be left behind here on the physical plane, when our animals cross, they don't see it as a bad thing. They don't see euthanasia as a bad thing. They don't see transitioning as a bad thing, because it's kind of for them like changing suits. They are moving on, and they're still connected with you. There's still a huge connection between their soul and you. It's just a different connection, but them as spirits and souls, it doesn't feel really that much different to them. And some of them want to come back in a newer, younger body. There's a lot of things going on this earth that aren't great for a living being, like chemicals. I mean, there's people spraying Roundup. I see it every day. It causes cancer. It's proven. They've lost huge lawsuits about it and had to pay multi-millions of dollars to people. It causes cancer, and I see people spraying it every day because they want to put their head in sand and say, oh, it doesn't matter. Well, that kills people and it kills animals. And any kind of spray that kills anything will kill the bigger things. Like if even weed, weed killer. I won't use weed killer. That's what Roundup is. But I mean, even like I have spiders all over my house, and I need to somehow get rid of them on the outside. It's a really big year for spiders. So, and I'm really not the kind of person to spray insecticides, because if it kills something small, in a larger dose, it'll kill something bigger. Gadji G says, can crystals be too strong for dogs? Yes, they can be too strong for any living being. So just a reminder, if you're tuning in, let me know where you're from, and give us a heart. I love the hearts if you're liking this, and tag a friend. If you have like-minded friends, tag them so they can be a part of this. Crystals can be too strong for dogs, too strong for any living being, as I mentioned. So the key piece about using crystals is never have a crystal somewhere, if you're not able to test for this, that the dog can't get away. So I would not leave a dog in a crate with a crystal attached to the crate if the dog's going to be enclosed in the crate. You know what I mean? If it's a crate the dog goes in and out of with an open door, you can put a crystal in there, and then if the energy gets too intense for them, they can leave. Different crystals have different intensities and different vibrational frequencies that interact with our vibrational frequencies. Yay, hi from Iowa. Penny says, can it be a reincarnate pup if a puppy was born before the other died? 100% yes. In that particular situation, that is done by soul agreement between two souls. They may have even realized it before the one soul crossed. And then, the soul that's in the puppy will, give way to allow the other one to come in to orchestrate the divine plan, if you will. So 100%. Yay, North Dakota. Connie says, I felt my dog pass through me when passing. Never saw him again. So you can, and it's beautiful that you were able to feel that. I know you can communicate with him. It may not be something you've had the experience of doing, but it is possible. Especially, if you master that art. Linda says, what should I be doing to help him spiritually? Now I don't know what the other part of the question was, because it was a while back. I think you're the one who wrote something. This Facebook Live. Last time I did it, I could read your questions better because they would open up. Becky says, hello, new here. Blessings, Becky. I'm glad to have you here. Great to have you. Tia Marie says, my dog was also born dead. I think you mean deaf. Could this be why he won't communicate? I'm pretty sure you mean deaf. I'm going to take it as that. Usually it has nothing to do with it. Really, if you have great communication with other animals and he's not communicating with you, there's a reason. If you don't, it may just be that you need a bit more practice. But an animal being deaf really doesn't have anything to do with the communication, because it's really heart to heart and soul to soul. Renee, I don't quite understand your question. My crossed over soul dog jumps 2 other dogs here. Oh, I think, okay, I get it. Sorry. I was reading it. I was thinking you were talking about it jumping into other souls. So Renee, my crossed over soul dog jumps 2 other dogs here. So that means, I think what you're saying is your one dog is aggressive. The dog that came back. Oh, I get it. Your dog that's on the other side. Okay. Thanks for making your question short enough that it would fit in one little short sentence, but now I was having a hard time. Yeah, that can happen. That's how they coming back and playing. Okay. Uh-oh, Donna's saying the video stopped. I hope it's come back on again. Raya, can you text me and just let me know if the video's still playing? I did have a little bit of difficulty, but it looks like it's still live. It's telling me it's still live. And oh, Nancy says you're coming in fine. All is good. Okay. Okay, Anna Keat says, thanks for sharing that we have a soul agreement with our pets, which enables us to make arrangements. And then I can't make it open. I don't know why these caption bars are not opening. You guys, next time we do it, I'm going to have my iPad beside me and see what I can do. So if you type a question, if you're just coming on, like I said, I'm having a hard time opening the longer questions. I can only see 3 lines in the caption box, and where it says see more, it won't, the clicking isn't working. I don't know why. So if you can, okay, I'm going to ask if you have any questions. I'm not going to be answering questions from the private message on Animal Alchemy. You've got to ask them in the thread. That's the only place I can read, because I'm getting things coming in at all angles, and those aren't staying up long enough for me to see. Ann Stewart says, any advice for kidney disease using kidney cell salt and Chinese herbal kidney powder? So it sounds like, you've got a holistic vet. And that would be my biggest advice. One thing I want to share, and it's so important for everyone to really take in, is that animal communication and holistic healing, which I am a huge proponent of and have been practicing and teaching for 25 years, is not a substitute for veterinary care. It's something you do along with. Like if you have enough money to go to an animal communicator or a vet, go to the vet if your animal's not well, because you want to rule out physical issues, because there's some physical things that can be helped and prevented from advancing if you go. So 100% I would say, it sounds like you're doing well. You're doing probably what a holistic vet helped you with. I would see a holistic vet, and I would absolutely have regular energy clearing sessions. You can get that through us, or you can do them yourself. One of the best ways to get them is to learn my training. I have an animal energy certification training program that really gives you everything you need. You can use it for your own animals at home. You can use it for if you work in a rescue or volunteer in a rescue, if you're a breeder, if you show horses, or if you if you want to take it out in the form of a business. It works in all, and we've got some of our students here. So if some of my students are on here, maybe they could share, their experience with it just briefly for some of the other people. Tammy, this is a great question. Tammy says, deceased animals come to me more than alive ones. Is there a reason why? And you know what, Tammy, we all can communicate with animals. We all have divine gifts within, and one of my biggest goals here in this, oh yay, if you're a student and I didn't recognize you, I apologize. When I'm doing something like this, I can't focus on everybody's name. So Tammy, oh, thank you so much for the compliments, everybody. Just you might want to share one of the biggest aha moments you had with the animal energy certification training. Anyways, Tammy, going back to your question, your biggest gift may be connecting with animals on the other side. That happens to be one of my greatest gifts. It was when I got into doing this for a living. I honestly did not have any desire to be an animal medium, if you will. You know, a liaison between the physical and the spiritual, between a soul in the spiritual realm and the physical people here, left here, behind. And it's what happened naturally. It's not, you know, I can do all aspects of it and have done all aspects of it. I'm really good at the medical intuition side, and there's all other parts to it. But that is your gift. Or, number one, it's the opening of your gift. Sometimes what comes to us is like the first step, and there's like 10 steps beyond it. So always go with what comes easy, what comes naturally, and how it comes, even if it's not how you want it to come. You know, some people are like, but I want to be, you know, medical intuitive, but I'm really, dead animals are speaking to me. I'm like, I talk to dead animals. I talk to dead people too. I love it. Becky is saying, can you tell me if my St. Bernard is with me? 100%, all of your crossed over animal companions are with you, whether you can feel them or not. Chris Tremonti, I can only see part of your question because Facebook is doing something screwy. I'll try one more time to open it. The see more, it's letting me bring people on camera live with me. There's that option, but it's not allowing me to read more than 3 lines. So Chris's question says, my dog has Cushing's disease for 2 years and it's going downhill. Is there any way she can tell me? And then I just see WH ... and see more. So Chris, if you type again, just say Cushing's 2 years, and then ask the question as briefly as you can. Just remind me, say Cushing's in 2 years, and then I'll be able to answer you better. I'm sorry that Facebook is acting up. Facebook changes everything all the time, daily practically. So Susan, yes. And Susan, I'm sorry for your losses. I know they were very recent. And grief blocks our communication 100%. So and don't beat yourself up about that. If you know, when we're in grief, they're still connecting with us. We just sometimes can't feel them. It's kind of like we have this wall or bubble around us that nothing can get through. And as we work through our grief, then that communication starts to be able to get through. And sometimes if we're not already trained in animal communication, when one of our animal companions dies, or crosses, or whatever you want to call it, returns to spirit, transitions, it's sometimes not the easiest time to learn that. You know, it's better if we learn this before they cross, you know. And I truly believe that this piece that I talk about so much and share is a very important part of our path, of our soul, of our spiritual development. The time is here for us to be really connected with this, to really understand this, and be able to be in tune with the invisible realms. It really is the time now. Okay, so Mary says, thank you for sharing that it's not a bad thing for them when they pass. It is not. And you know, I want to share something else, because sometimes students and clients ask me, and they feel like they might have waited too long. Some people feel like they waited too long. Some people feel like they helped them to cross too soon. I very rarely have anyone come to me. I was saying this to someone today for my book. I was talking about my book today because I'm in the process of getting a book together, and it's been like 25 years overdue. I have about 6 books in me, so get ready. Here they all come. But anyways, you know, I've never had an animal say, oh, they euthanized me a week too early or 2 weeks too early, or they waited too long to euthanize me. I mean, I don't suggest you wait too long to euthanize them. I'd rather err on this side of too soon than too late, because you don't want to make them suffer any more than they have to. But absolutely, they're what they feel when we're helping them transition is what's in our heart, and they don't see it as a bad thing. Sherry, I love that. My cat asked why we're so attached to this life. Absolutely, and the animals are not as attached to this life as we are. Alessandra says, how can I get one of my cats to stop pooping in the family room? I have 4, and we aren't sure which one it is. So number 1, If you have 4 cats, make sure you have 5 litter boxes and have more than one type of litter, because some cats like litter. There's so many different things. Make sure that the other cat's poops are scooped out immediately as much as you can. And also, energy work, animal communication will really help with that. But also put a litter box in the family room right now where the cat is pooping. And I bet you any money you'll find the poop in it. You may have to slowly move it back to where it goes, but it's better than having a cat pooping continually in your living room. Oh, Becky says hello from Michigan, Arizona here. Yay, Christine, I'm in Arizona too. Delaware, Iowa, New York. Yay, Ocean Springs. Yes, Anne says, I believe there is an essential oil or 2 that you can spray around doors for spiders. And yes, you know what, I think I'm going to do that with my essential oils and try to keep them away that way. I have a hiking shoebox full. I used to be a distributor for Young Living for years, way back in the early 90s. I was an early adopter of all things holistic. Yes, as long as they don't eat it. I think you mean the essential oil. Yeah. My dogs are out unattended. We have rattlesnakes here that'll come right up on the deck. We have birds of prey here, huge birds of prey that like watch my dog in the dog run while she's out for her poop. My smallest dog, Pixie Rose, who's only 3 pounds, doesn't even go out for a poop at night. She goes on a walk, but she only knows how to poop on her potty pads. And we've got bobcats that'll jump right up and grab them, and coyotes, and you name it, we got it here. So my dog, and rattlesnakes, I think I mentioned. Hey, someone from Wheatley, Ontario. I'm from Ontario, Canada, but I'm in Arizona. I wished I was in Ontario right now. I love the fall in Ontario. I know it's probably not really fall yet, but you get my idea. Beach, North Dakota here. Oh, Kareen says, hi, Lynn, I'm in your animal energy class, love it. Popping in to say hi. Thank you so much, Kareen, Illinois. Tara Cruz says, thank you. I've been watching your videos on euthanasia and reincarnation, and they have been very helpful, I guess. And then there's a Seymour. So what I want to share with you guys is if you look up Lynn McKenzie, Animal Communicator on YouTube, you're going to find a lot more videos. And if you have, Hawkesbury's in Ontario, I believe. I know Hawkstone and Hawkesbury. I think they're both in Ontario. There are more videos there. There's lots of videos. My specialty is really like the afterlife, reincarnation, the death and dying process, and all of that. So not that I don't do other things, but there's a lot of videos on that. Hey, Lubbock, Texas. Yay. Becky says, all my cats see spirits in my home. It's amazing. Prudence says, how do dogs sense a bad person? So I don't know if bad is a word I would use, but what happens is we all give off an energy. It's our vibrational frequency. It's like the way we're vibrating. And, the higher emotions and feelings and are like love is, are much higher in the frequency realm than there's sort of love at the top and fear at the bottom. And there's a million good vibes that are love and a million bad vibes that are fear. I'm going to call them bad for lack of a better word. Fearful vibes. So rage and anger and self-sabotage and all of those stem from fear, and all of the wonderful ones like generosity and joy and happiness and caring all stem from love. So our animal companions read the vibrational frequency of a person. So for the most part, there was one time my golden retriever loved everybody. And there was one time when I was hiking with him. I wasn't hiking. I was walking him around Lake Ontario in the beach area of Toronto, if any of you guys know that area. And he was off the leash, which he wasn't supposed to be, but we would do it often. My dog would not harm a fly. But there was one guy that my dog was really acting aggressive with, and he listened. He was very obedient, and I called him, and he came to me, and I put him on the leash, of course. But he really did not like that guy, and I know something was up. I could just feel my heckles almost go up when my dog was that way, because that was like one of the only times he ever did that. The only other time he did it was a lady had a dog that had attacked my dog a few times, and he was quite vicious. He was a Dalmatian, and she would always have him loose. And I'm like, if your dog keeps attacking other dogs, keep him on the leash. And she got mad at me and started yelling at me, and I had my dog on the leash, and he just kind of went, like right up in her face. Like he was defending me, like, don't yell at my mom. She knows what she's doing. It was really funny. But so they're reading the vibration. Oh, wow, we've got more Iowa, we've got Pennsylvania. This is so exciting. I'd like to go to all these places. Hawaii. Yay, okay, so let me keep scrolling. So Linda was asking about her dog with cancer. And Linda, I'm sorry, but I can't remember what your question was. You have to put a bit more in one line. I know you made it shorter. It could be a bit longer than what you put, and I'm not sure. Were you asking? I can't remember. You're going to have to put. I'm sorry. This Facebook problem tonight isn't the best. I will have my iPad next time. Okay, so let's see. Oh, Salt Lake City. If a dog comes to you, I guess, and I'm not sure if a dog is a previous soul, do they know it? So the soul remains the same, and the soul moves through bodies, so it just travels through bodies. So, yes, an animal would, but they may every soul comes in with new lessons, new learning, new experiences. They're going to be different, and it would be rare that if he was asked directly that somehow on a soul level he wouldn't know that. I will just leave it at that. Yay. Yeah, iPads rule. Cannot open them on an iPad either. Oh man, I wonder if this is new because we could open them last week. Oh, it's not letting other people. They're saying they can't open them. So someone said they had to close out the video and reopen. If the video stalls out, and Danelle says, I think it's Facebook causing the comment problem. Happens all the time. It absolutely is, because 2 weeks ago I did a live and I could open them. And it's like, Facebook, get it together. I guess we can't complain. It probably cost them billions to run, and it's free for all of us. So Arlene says animal spirit attachments. What do I suggest? So I'm assuming, Arlene, that you mean animal spirits attached to you, maybe. I have not found that animals, oftentimes there could be an incarnate spirit around you. Generally speaking, I find it to be a being that was a human in the last lifetime versus the animal in the last lifetime. I have not had a lot of issues with myself or my clients with animal spirit attachments, but what I would do is I would help it to make it to the light, let it know that there's a better place for it, and send it to the light. I do have a piece in my animal energy training where maybe I didn't put it in the basic level because there was so much already, but I do that, but I haven't found it with animals. I found it more with humans. Oh, Amber says, my dog visited me before he passed. I wasn't home when he crossed, but he came to tell me goodbye. Yeah, that's amazing. And my grandfather did that right after he passed. He came to me, and I was in a different country, and I was only 12. Kamara's saying, my fixed male cat started peeing in the house. They never did this before. My husband wants to get rid of them. I don't know if there's more to that story. Again, if you're just joining, Facebook is messing up the comments, and it's only letting me see about 2.5 to 3 lines. So you have to make your comments maybe 15 words or less, or shorten them up as much as you can so I can still understand them, because Facebook's not letting me open the see more. But there's so much you can do with cats that are peeing in the house, and it's not something I can fix for you on a Facebook Live with lots of different people, but I have had some phenomenal success with doing that. But it takes a lot. It's a group project. It's a household project, and there's things that you would do. There's clearing to be done. There's communication to be done. There's to find out. I had a cat in Stratford, Ontario that I did a session for many years ago. And they had 2 cats, and one of their cats was peeing. They didn't know which one, and it was peeing on the baseboards into light sockets, which is kind of dangerous, and getting up on their kitchen counter and peeing all over the kitchen counter. And it got to the point where it's a horrific mess every day when they came home from work. They had to put foil everywhere. Their whole kitchen counter was lined with foil. Their outlets were all lined with foil, and just so they could clean it up. And I did one session with those cats. I'm not guaranteeing this could happen, because we're talking about souls with there's lots of divine will here and choice and all kinds of things, and there's many reasons for it. But when I talked to them, the one cat fessed up and they stopped cold turkey. They sent me an email about that, stopping cold turkey. So that's kind of interesting. I had another cat, a client of mine, Tammy, sadly passed away in the last maybe year and a half, at a very young age. But she had me, in Toronto, she had me come to her. Oh, Diane says amazing classes. I totally recommend them. Thank you, Diane. Diane's been in many of my trainings, and animal energy certification training was one of them. So this cat, Tammy's cat, had started urinating in her house, and this was really new and rare. So she ended up calling me, and because I was local, she wanted me to come to her house, and I did. And her cat told me right away that it was like, she lived on the main floor of a house in Toronto, in the older areas, the beautiful homes. A lot of them are divided into like 3 levels, 3 apartments or whatever. She lived on the main floor, and I can't remember if there was a second floor now. It's been a lot of years since I did this. And the cat started urinating, and I said, there's something going on in the basement. The cat's not liking whoever's down there. And she said, oh, new people they were renovating or something, and new people were going to move in. And so we talked to the cat. We went through a bunch of processes with the cat. We checked in with what crystals would resonate with the cat and the cat's energy at that moment, what flower essences, all of the different holistic things we could do, as well as I gave her some exercises to work on with the cat, and that cat started urinating. Yay, Vermont. I was just looking at Vermont online. It looks beautiful. It looks like a nice place to go for fall. Oops, I keep putting my wrong hand in front. Whoopsie, I see. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, so Raya is posting some of the classes. So just so you guys know, we do, if you're new to me, we have some free webinars that introduce some of our trainings, and Raya can post the links for the free webinars. We have a free animal communication and healing masterclass, and then we have a free psychic masterclass, and both of those are programs that are interesting in themselves, but they also will lead to our main programs, which are the animal energy certification training and psychic development mentoring. We have other programs, and we're going to be having our we're heading towards getting our clairvoyance mastery back. That's one of our biggest programs of all time, and it's not going to be for a number of months, but it is going to be coming. Melinda says, thank you so much for your time. My pleasure. Paula says, I love animals. Kareen says, one of my biggest aha moments has been understanding animal reincarnation, and that they often stay. And now, of course, I can't see the rest of yours, but Kareen, I'll read it later, and those of you who see these comments going by, you can read them. Is my new puppy Louis my old dog Cheetah? So Lori, I want to tell you that you already know the answer to that. You know that it's Cheetah, don't you? Louis saying you know. Cheetah's saying you know. So, oh, Sandra says, I'd like to know, will I be with my animal spirits when I pass? And thanks, Sandra. Yes, this is really where it gets confusing, because like we could have a dog. Let's say Jigs, Jigs was my golden retriever who came to me in 1993 and stayed with me through 2007, and he is the catalyst for me changing my careers and getting into this whole field, which I didn't even know existed in 1993. And by the well, not 1993, whenever I knew it existed, but let me just think about this. It was around when I got into it, 93. Yeah, 93 is when I got into it. So he came to me, and then it just went boom, 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 and then I got into this field. So anyhow, so Jigs could have been with somebody else before he came to me. Let's just say, I'm just going to use him as an example. When he crossed, he let me know that I'm going to ask if you have questions to please put them in the thread. I'm still getting them coming in through the message. That when he crossed, he let me know he wasn't coming back because he had greater work to do from the spirit realm, and he's one of my guides, and he's one of the guides for this my entire training and body of work that I do. I'm writing a book right now, and he is also with Lucero, an Andalusian stallion guide I have that I call an ascended master of the equine realm. So these are beings that have gone through many, many people. So that you might think, well, if he's reincarnating and then going to the next soul that he had a soul agreement with and all kinds of stuff is going on, how can I be with them when I pass? So one of the things I want to share is that spirits can be in more than one place at a time. They could have been with 1,000 people in all of their incarnations, and when those 1,000 people are on the other side, they're with them there too. So it's kind of complex, and the spirit realm or heaven or whatever you want to call it is not like Earth. And the beings that are there are not like humans. We would get really overwhelmed with all of that. Connie says that she wants to communicate with animals, but it's against her Christian beliefs. So, Connie, I want you to know that there are references to animal communication in the Bible. In Job, I have, on the Animal Alchemy page, I have one of the quotes from Job. It's, "Ask the beasts, and they will tell you. Flying something will inform you," and, look for it, or, you'll see it, or just Google it. Job, "Ask the beasts" in Job. Our animal companions are gifts from God, and I truly believe with every fiber of my being that everything I teach is of the light and of God and of a higher source, and it's to help us open and be better, more loving, more caring human beings. So I absolutely want you to know that to me it's not against Christian beliefs. But I'm not also either trying to convince anyone to believe what I believe. So whatever works for you is good. Oh, Arlene, I'm sorry. Arlene had a recent loss. So many people do. Oh, okay. So Chris, thank you. I'm getting back to you. The questions are coming. That's perfect. I got it all in. See how, if anyone sees Chris Tremont Smith's question, I can read it all because it's in one line. So her dog had Cushings for 2 years now. She's declining. She wants to know how she can tell me when it's time for her to cross over. So I want to share with you that it can be done through animal communication, through heart-to-heart communication, soul-to-soul communication. You can just read her energy. And animals that are crossing tend to go like this. It's like an uphill, downhill kind of, any being that's crossing. It's like they have a great day and then they have a not so great day, and then they have a great day and then a not so great day, and then it kind of, and they start to spend time on the other side a little bit more. You'll start to notice that. So they sleep deeper. They're kind of like, you have to kind of wake them up sometimes. What I want you to do is tune into your heart and how you feel in your heart. I have an elderly Maltese who has a diabetes, and she was kind of really going downhill for a bit there, but now she's had a complete turnaround. It's different than Cushing's disease, but she's had a complete turnaround, and she started on the uphill spiral, and she'll be 11 next month. But just day to day, play it day to day, be in the moment. My websites are ancient. My animal energy website was done in 2000, and it was revamped in like, I don't know, 18 years ago. No, 8 years ago, I think it is. So we're actually coming out with my new website, which we've been working on for over a year, probably by the end of the month. We're pray to the technology gods that everything works, because there's a lot to my business, so we have to make sure everything's working. But on my animal energy site, which isn't a site I even like telling people about because it's so bad, under the free articles, there's one called "Walking Gently Through the Death and Dying of Our Animal Companions," and it really is, and I have a video that I made on it on one of my Facebook pages. I have 2 Facebook pages. I have animal energy as well as animal alchemy, okay? So I would look at that and just go with your heart and what you feel, and know that what you're going to be doing is going to be the right thing for your animal companion. Okay, let me just see here. So Miss Arlene's asking about a cat, Misty. I can't do actually individual readings on this. I may do a live somewhere where I do like quick readings. And Becky says, Chris, you need to let her know it's okay. And you may have already done that, Becky. I mean, animals, it's good for us to let them know that whatever, Diane's saying, would love to see her book. It's good for us to let them know that whatever is in their highest and best good is okay with us. We don't ever really want to do something that is against are, oh, someone just posted the Job, it just flashed on and off, so someone posted the Job 120-17 or :17, where the Bible references animal communication, by the way, more than once. So, anyways, I'm going 5 different directions. So it's okay to let them know it's okay, and we have to be okay with what is in divine order. We made this soul agreement with these beings. Their lives are shorter than ours, and we have to be willing to let them go and to connect. That's really, really important. I can't wait till my book is ready. Oh, Linda's saying Rondo is the one who has cancer. How can I help him spiritually to heal? Number one, the very best thing you could do is find a holistic veterinarian who can work with him. My Jigs had osteosarcoma, but it never really affected him. It was so... his body was so healthy, and I had been doing so much healing work on him, and he was so spiritually evolved that when he got osteosarcoma, which is bone cancer, he popped it out some soft tissue in his ear, and they never found any more in his body, which is like unknown. But I had him after that on a formula called Hoxie formula via my holistic traditional Chinese medicine vet. And I would be, if you can come into the animal, I think I can't remember if you're in the animal energy certification training or not, Linda, but if you can come into that, you'll have tons and tons of information to help you work with them, or you can find somebody who can do it for you. We have a lot of people come into my training programs, especially my animal energy certification training, because they have an animal that has either recently transitioned or an animal that has is heading into that time in their life. Some of them have elderly animals, and there's no sign that they're going to be transitioning, but just a regular guess would say the chances might be good. And the people in this program are so phenomenal, and the students, and there's students coming in all the time. It's not something that starts one day and ends another. It's rotational, so every week new students are coming in. And what's great is they have the benefit of the students who are already certified. So that may be something you want to consider. People take the training to either do it as a business, to help their own animal companions, to have support for the process they're going to be going through with the transition with their animals. I can't stress how much support it is and how much camaraderie there is. So anyways, that's just a side note on that. So don't forget to, if you're just coming on, to let me know where you're coming to me from. And Becky, I want to say something. I never tell people they have to do something. I mean, it's more like, I would more phrase it like, have you told them it's okay to cross? Pam says, are there people who cannot read an animal in life or death? I believe everybody can, but it's very different for everybody. That's why I have the 3 paths as part of my training, so that people can come in, can approach the program and communicating with animals based on who they are at a soul level. It's funny. 2 weeks ago I did this live, and it was a lot lighter. I don't have a light on in my house, and it's funny how much earlier it's getting dark. So we will be ended with the dark. Yay, Wisconsin. Margot's saying which oil, I don't know. Hawkesbury, Ontario. I knew that was... I knew somebody else from Hawkesbury a long time ago. Oh, Tulsa, yay. Tulsa sounds fun. Amber says... So Amber, part of your question's been cut off, and I don't know if it's a question or statement, but you got 8 hedgehogs to learn from, and 5 have crossed since 2017, and you started to list them, but I don't know what the rest of your question is, because Facebook is acting up today and not letting me read the comments. Yes, Anna, I can make a contract with the spiders to leave, and I'm in the process of doing that with the pack rats, and I've done it before successfully with squirrels and fleas and different beings, and I have to spend the time. And also, secondly, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like the pack rats are really native to this area, and I live on a gulch, They may or may not, but I'm going to give it my best college try. I see my eyes are getting red. I put my ceiling fan on because it was so hot, because the sun was setting here. It's like almost 100 degrees in Arizona today. And the ceiling fan irritates my eyes. So if you're wondering why my eyes are going red, they're really, I can see it through my glasses. Oh, that's so sweet. Pamela says that she has 4 Great Danes that are her children. I know my dogs are my children too. And her recently crossed over Great Dane still comes and sleeps with, I think, the others is what she said. But again, Facebook cut off your comment and won't let me see the last part of it. Oh yeah, Sandra's asking if we could leave a link. You may have already done this, Rise. She wants us to leave links for any of our YouTube and our classes. So if you're interested in our classes, our training programs, the Animal Energy Certification Training, which it's like my life's work. I spend my life on this. I work night and day and weekends, and my mission is just to continually make it better. And most of the students who are in it, especially those who've been in it a long time, will share that with you. YouTube is Lynn McKenzie, Animal Communicator, but Raya can put a link. Maybe Raya mentioned the link to YouTube. And then the classes, we have 2 training programs, but if you want to get into one of the training programs, you may want to watch the free webinar, which is already instructional, but it also tells you about that training. Thanks, Raya. I'm going to go a couple more minutes. Oh, Susan McPherson says, love all your YouTube videos, so informative. Thank you, Susan. It's always nice to know that I'm appreciated, because I really certainly do put a lot of effort into it. Hello from Colorado. Brooke says, we lost our golden retriever from cancer 6 weeks ago, and it's been terrible. I'm so sorry. My thoughts are with you. I know how hard it is for any of you who have lost an animal companion. And YouTube is not letting me open up the rest of your comment, but intuitively I'm going to tell you to watch all my videos on YouTube. I have the Animal Alchemy page. I also have an Animal Energy page. We post stuff on both pages on Facebook as well. And okay, I see. Thanks, Raya, for putting my YouTube channel in. Raya's like dodging a hurricane right now, and she's still here. Yay. Oh, hello from California. Yeah, Nancy's saying it's new with Facebook. I can't believe that they want people to do a Facebook Live, and your comment has to be so short. Bobby says, how can I help my dog work through her old karma? She is blind. So, you know, I haven't had like a lot of animals come in that have been too focused on their karma. It's, you know, most of them, she just in living day to day and living as a blind dog, she's doing what she needs to do for her soul in this lifetime. And really all you can do is love her. Lori says, I don't even see all the people you're calling out. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, because they're all in my feed. Lisa says, I'm a Christian also and totally believe in this work. Lisa's in my program. So yeah, there is nothing in this world that could ever convince me, and I say this with every conviction I have, that God is not a part of this work. There is nothing. It makes me want to cry, because it's so sad that some people who want to make people fear this work when it is so important. Oh, Kamar says I'm in your class too. Yay! I don't always know everybody's name. I'm sorry. I'm 58. Sometimes I have a hard time remembering what I did half an hour ago. Why do my hedgehogs gone free come to me through other animals still with me? That's Amber. And are they trying to tell me and then nothing? Facebook's messed up your comment. So the reason your hedgehogs who have gone free come to you through your other animals is because they want to connect with you. They want to show you that the soul lives on. Oh, Pam. So that's important. Pam, I see your question. Better if you put the questions in the comments, because that looks like it was in a private message. So I think, so they want to connect with you. They want to be back. They want to, it's a way for you to connect with their souls, so that then you can learn to connect with their souls without them even coming back. Yay, New Brunswick. Okay, so my websites, and just beware that my websites are hideous. One of them was made in 2000, 18 years ago. It has had some updates, but it's hideous, and that is animalenergy.com. Animal Energy is my trademark name. We've had the trademark for like 10 years or something. Years before any, like I'm one of the early adopters of this kind of work. I've been teaching, like I said, since 1993. My other website, which is right now more geared to business, is lynnmckenzie.com. My new website is coming up. I used to spend a lot of time coaching spiritual entrepreneurs to create successful businesses for themselves as well. So I have a very large business, and have for many, many years. I've been on media and all that kind of stuff. Media, radio, TV, newspapers, blah, blah, blah. Magazines, written for magazines. So the Lynn McKenzie website and the Animal Energy, when you key in the URLs after probably the end of this month, hopefully my new website will be there, and we're going to have a big launch about it. Oh, something to put on your calendars is that we have an exciting thing happening, and it's going to be an Animal Communication and Healing Week. I believe it's going to start on October 29th, if I'm going by the top of my head. So I watch for that. Get on our mailing list. You can get on our mailing list at animalenergy.com, or you can just email clientcare@lynnmckenzie.com to get on the mailing list. We have a free training program as well called Making the Heart Connection with Your Animal Companions, and I highly recommend everyone get it if you don't have it. You can do that. If Raya has a link for you guys to go to for that, she can post it, but if she doesn't, you can always email clientcare@lynnmckenzie.com. Make sure you spell Lynn correctly, and make sure you spell Mackenzie correctly. So let me keep going. Yay, New Brunswick. I'm Canadian, so I always like to see the Canadians. I always get kind of nostalgic about Canada right about now, because it's a nice time of year to be in Canada. But as soon as about December rolls around, I'm happy to be in Arizona because that's when our beautiful weather begins. Oh, great question. Debbie says, I'm a wildlife rescue volunteer. Can I communicate with wildlife as well as pets? 100%. You can communicate with every living being. That's insects, that's reptiles, that's fish, that's animals, that's all of God's creatures, basically, you can communicate with. I've communicated with gorillas in the zoo, so absolutely. And we have people coming into our program who do that. You can communicate with the nature spirits, with trees, with mountain ranges, etc. So let me just see. Corrine says, soul contracts. My first time, and you are beautiful. Thank you. Oh, Connie, that's so sweet. I hope you really believe that God is in this, because soul contracts with animals were the other part of that, and I don't remember what that was. I'm sorry. Simple mind. I was told my heart dog Max was a human before. That's absolutely possible. I believe, and I don't ever try. One thing you're going to learn about me is I never try to make you guys think I'm right and somebody else is wrong. I have my very strong, firm beliefs because of the proof I've had from doing this work since 1993 or whatever, 25 years now, and communicating with thousands and thousands of animals. I used to just do this all day long, every day. Now my focus is on teaching and writing and creating new material to get this out to others. But I believe that souls can be one or the other. Okay. Oh, yes. Someone posted it. Kamara, thank you for posting that quote. Francois says, I'm one of your new students in the AECT. That's the Animal Energy Certification Training. I want to thank my beloved Roxy, who passed a year ago. Oh, thank you. And I can't read the rest of your comment because Facebook is not allowing me to open it. Susan says, please do a live with quick readings. Readings are never quick. Somebody said, I need to know if my dog needs to be euthanized. Can I have a quick reading? And I'm like, my readings are deep. So I usually spend, half an hour preparing for each reading with each animal, almost preparing myself and my energy and my space and tuning in, and then spend half an hour with the people on the phone or an hour with the people on the phone. So I'm not the fastest, but I'd never want to spend 10 minutes and say in 10 minutes to someone, yeah, it's time to euthanize your animal, because that's not something you make a quick decision over. I want to feel it. Can your energy clearings help with a recent hearing loss in my senior Pekingese? One of my vets told me years ago, and he was a holistic vet, he said hearing in dogs lasts about 13 years. And he said, you know, give or take, it can be sooner in some and later in some, but basically it lasts about 13 years. And that's just been his experience from working with animals. So I think the energy clearings would help your Pekingese adapt to the hearing loss. And I would never say never, but I wouldn't want to give you the hope that they would change. But what they do is they make whatever any living being is going through so much easier and better, and help them do it with grace and joy and ease and peace. And that's what really matters. And you guys learn, when you come into the animal energy certification training, you learn the entire system, so you can do the healings yourself. Margot says, will Smokey, my horse, come back to me as a dog? So here's the thing. If Smokey, your horse has crossed over, which I'm assuming Smokey has, then you talk to Smokey yourself and let Smokey know that you want him to come back as a dog, if that's what you want, and be very specific. And Smokey will tune in with you and usually work with you. Sharon says, I have a very fearful dog. Will communication only help him? Hello from Pembroke, Ontario. Yay, another Ontarian. My home province. I have had amazing success with fearful animals, but I have used a combination of animal communication and healing, and that's what I teach in my programs, because I feel that one without the other is lacking. That's just my belief, and you know, the way I do it. I don't want to just know what's wrong. I want to be able to clear it too. You know, and sometimes clearing is a way of communicating, working with my system. Oh, Lynn says, love your work. Love you and your work. Thank you so much, Lynn. Love your name. No, just joking. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to get... Sharon says, I can't wait for your book. I can't either. Kamara says, I'm taking your class. It's helping me with my business as a professional psychic medium. I am in Philly. And then she said, you're something, it looks like, because I see the apostrophe after the you. Wished I could read the rest of it. Man, I'm going to get on Facebook about this. Okay. So, Deanne says, so fascinating. Our new Labradoodle, her tummy is always upset. She threw up today. Any messages for... and I can't see the rest of it. So, you know, I've had dogs with stomach issues, jigs, had a lot of them, and I've had dogs with severe skin allergies. I've had quite a few. What I would say is be very careful about look at every single thing that is going in the animal, number one, every single thing that's going in. You know, and be very careful, be very clean, be very holistic. Don't buy foods with ingredients you don't know. I fed raw, I fed cooked. I use human grade food for my animals. Right now I have them on one called My Perfect Pet, and it's throughout the U.S. And when I've done that. I was an early adopter. I studied with Dr. Ian Billinghurst, who's a veterinarian from Australia, who developed the BARF diet, the bones and raw food diet. And then look at maybe work with a holistic vet, but you know, you want to nip it in the bud now. That's what I want to say. So someone said you're awesome. I'm not sure who that was. It just flicked up on the screen. So what I want to say is I'm thrilled that you guys are all here. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you enjoy it, please give me some hearts, give me a thumbs up. Give me a wow, a wow comment. I never asked for the wows, the comment. I love that one. And tag a friend who you can help me. And if you want more of these, what I'm going to ask you to do is tag a friend, share my live and my other lives. There's lots of them. There's lots of content. If you're brand new, there's lots of content you can go through. And do check out the links. Check out my 2 free training webinars. I think you'll really like them. And I hope some of you will come into my my training programs, because I love to teach. It's my heart's passion to teach you guys, and I keep downloading more and more information and ideas and stuff to bring forth. So anyways, we must wrap before the sun goes completely down and I'm sitting here in darkness. I'm praying that by the next time we have a live that this Facebook thing is fixed. We'll find a way to work around it, even if someone has to copy and paste them and send them to me on my computer and I have to have it beside me. Whatever. We'll make it work so we can get your full comments next time. So abundant blessings. Don't forget, the week of October 29th, we're having an animal communication and healing week, and we're going to have some amazing giveaways. There's going to be a contest, so it's going to be exciting. So love you guys all. Abundant blessings. See you soon.